Hey everyone, I'm Bianca Jordan, an immigration lawyer at Brazen Legal, where I help immigrants get green cards every day. Love is in the air in this video as I'm answering a question I've been getting a lot lately. And that question is, should I get a fiancé visa or should we just get married and go through the green card process? So for the benefit of those who don't know what either process entails, I'm going to go through them so that you can see them side by side. And then at the end, I'll tell you what my opinion is. First, I'll go over the fiancé visa. The fiancé visa, also known as a K-1 visa, is a visa that lets a foreign fiancé come to the United States for the purpose of getting married to a U.S. citizen fiancé. In order to get the K-1 visa, a U.S. citizen has to petition for a foreign fiancé to get the visa. So you have to be engaged to a U.S. citizen. Cannot be engaged to someone that has a green card or someone who has no status. The person has to be a U.S. citizen. And you have to prove that you have seen each other at least once in the last 2 years. There are certain exceptions to this rule, but generally speaking, you have to show that you have seen each other in person at least once over the last 2 years. And then you also have to submit proof that you do intend to get married within 90 days of when the foreign fiancé comes to the United States. So once you have all of these things, the U.S. citizen will file Form I-129F with USCIS, and depending on processing times, this can take at least 10 months to be approved. Once that application is approved, the case will move to the Department of State, where you'll file Form DS-160. Once that application is filed, processed, and approved, the case will then move to the consulate, where the foreign fiancé will have their interview at the consulate. If everything goes well and the fiancé visa is issued, then the foreign fiancé can come to the United States, and within 90 days they have to get married to the U.S. citizen fiancé. And if that happens, then they can move on to apply for a green card. Now, let's say that you decide to get married instead. Maybe the U.S. citizen fiancé decides to go to where the fiancé is living and they get married in that country. And the U.S. fiancé decides to come back to the U.S. and start the process then. In that case, the U.S. citizen fiancé would then file Form I-130 with USCIS. Once that is approved, the case is going to move to the National Visa Center, where you'll have to file Form DS-260, submit your affidavit of support forms, and once that application is filed, processed, and approved, it will move on to the consulate, where your spouse will have their interview. If everything goes well, they're issued an immigrant visa to come to the U.S., and then a couple months later, they'll get the physical green card in the mail. Now, let's say that you get married, same situation. Maybe the U.S. citizen goes to the foreign fiance's home and they get married there, and then they decide to come back. Or maybe the foreign fiancé already had a visitor's visa, and let's say they came into the United States to visit, let's say last year, and they got stuck here because of COVID, and they decided, you know what, life is too short, let's just get married in the U.S. and we'll just figure things out later. Let's say that's what happened. In that case, you're applying for the green card in the United States. So the foreign fiancé would not need a fiancé visa, nor would they need to go back to their home country to get the green card, because at that point they have already come to the United States legally with a visitor's visa, and they're now married to a U.S. citizen, which makes them an immediate relative, and they can get the green card here. So they would file all the paperwork here, they would do their medical here, their fingerprinting here, everything would take place in the United States, and they would go to a green card interview in the United States. They'd go together, and if all goes well, the green card would be approved, and depending on where you live, you could get the green card in as little as a week. So, the original question, should you go the fiancé visa route or should you get a green card? My personal preference is if you can get married, do that and just go for the green card. I really do not like fiancé visas. I do them for clients that either have no option or they really just want to do the fiancé visa process. But if I have my way and if it's my choice, I always try to encourage people, if they're able to, get married and go through the green card process. Here's why. You're going to have to pay for the green card process anyway, because again, the fiancé visa is just to get you here. It's just to get the foreign fiance in the United States so that they can get married to their US citizen fiance. Once you get married, you're going to apply for a green card. So if you use an attorney, you're paying for an attorney for the fiance visa, you're paying all the filing fees for the I-29F and the DS-160, and then you're paying more fees again to get a green card. Another reason why I don't like the fiance visa is because it's very restrictive. Number one, you have to get married within 90 days of coming to the US. If for whatever reason you don't get married, or let's say you guys break up and now you're no longer together, if the foreign fiance were to later find someone else, meet someone, fall in love, and now that person wants to get them a green card, the foreign fiance is not going to be able to get them the green card here. If you don't get married within 90 days, your visa is expired and you're going to be subject to deportation if you don't leave shortly thereafter. So depending on how long you stayed in the United States after you came in with a fiance visa, if you find someone else that can petition for you, you're going to have to go through consular processing, which means that you're going to have to get the green card outside of the United States. And if that happens, then you're probably going to need a waiver before you go. Because if you leave the US without that waiver and you overstayed that fiance visa by more than 6 months or more than a year, then you're not going to be able to come back for 3 or 10 years, depending on how long you overstayed. And also, another concern of mine is that sometimes when the foreign fiance comes to the United States, the relationship may fall apart because now the US citizen is subjecting the foreign fiance to abuse or domestic violence. And the foreign fiance would not qualify for a green card through the VAWA program, which is a program that allows victims and survivors of domestic violence to get green cards because the marriage didn't take place. There is another option for foreign fiancés to be able to get some sort of green card or legal status, but that process, which is through the U visa, takes several years. I think right now it's taking 6 to 7 years. So there are a variety of reasons why I don't like the fiancé visa. The number one reason why I don't like the fiancé visa as of the date of this recording is because there are currently over 400,000 immigrant visa petitions that are pending. Immigrant visa petitions are green card applications, and a lot of these applications are pending still because last year the Trump administration issued an executive order that pretty much put a halt to all legal immigration, including people that were in preference categories, such as people that were getting green cards from green card holders. So because of this backlog, we now have over 400,000 cases that are pending, and the embassies are concentrating on the green card applications right now, which means that they're not focusing on fiancé visas, which means that you're going to be waiting a really long time before your fiancé visa is processed. So if you're able to get married and go through the green card process, then I think that is preferable because you have more rights and protections and your case will ultimately be processed faster. I hope you found this video helpful. Please visit brazenlegal.com to learn more about me, my law firm, and how I can get you a green card. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and please be sure to follow me on Instagram so you don't miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.